Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Sandman, if you don't already know. And we're going to talk about Dying Light. Not the second one that's coming out, but the first one. Over the past couple of days, I played through most of the story on my own, and I did it live on stream over at twitch.tv/thesandmanking, and we had some fun with it. Most of the gameplay you're seeing is from there, but we're not really going to focus on that right now. First, we're going to talk about the story. So the story is your generic... I don't know if I want to call it generic, but it's the normal story for the zombie games where, oh, we're looking for a cure and we're helping people look for a cure. That's the premise we go in, is we go down to hunt down a guy and then we find out there's research and stuff going on inside the zone, and then you go and have to help with that and help people survive and also hunt down this guy. And it's your basic zombie story after about 20 minutes, where you're trying to find a cure, or you're helping some scientists to find a cure. Bada bing, bada boom, the usual shit. Plus, you're still hunting down this other guy, and you're trying to work with this like agency to go and do what they want and shit. And yeah, it's a bit convoluted, and it's your kind of generic story stuff, your generic zombie story stuff, but it was overall an enjoyable story. Let's talk about gameplay. And this is where you have to divide this game into the first half and the second half. Over both halves, the parkour is so much fun. Like just jumping between buildings and running around. Once you get the grappling hook, it becomes even more fun, I think. Just zipping around to different places. It makes the game a hell of a lot easier to get around, but it's also fun to just run around and stuff. So that aspect is great. Going and vaulting over zombies, or drop kicking zombies, or slide tackling zombies, like it's so much fun. And then we get to the divisive part of weapons. First half of the game, you are using strictly melee weapons. I don't think I found a gun until halfway through. At least. Until you go to at least like Old Town. Or no, just before going to Old Town, I think. You get guns. And that's the division where it becomes... So the melee combat it's fun, it's visceral, it's just fun. I like games that won't shy away from like visceral combat where every blow feels like it does a good amount of damage. And in this game, it feels like that. You do get a good like blood spurt from the enemies, but there's a lot of times where I'm using weapons that are like for my level, and I'm sitting there beating on one zombie 20 to 30 times to kill it. I don't know if it's just me fucking up or if it's like just a general thing that it takes a good time to beat them up, but it was not great. It was not super fun, honestly. Like that, it was fun just kind of beating on them, but it's like it would be nice to just be a little bit quicker with killing. So I don't know if that was a me problem, or if that was a weapon problem, or if that's just how the game is designed. Then Mike gave me a couple of weapons because he's way higher level than I am, and we just bum rushed through the rest of the game and finished it in a night. I think at that point I was around like 50% in the game when he joined in, so we had fun then. The point where you're fighting Ryas and his men, that is where the game kind of loses everything for me, because the gunplay is not good. I'm gonna be completely honest. The gunplay is not good in the game. I'm glad it sounds like in 2 they are going to be sticking to melee weapons, because I think that's really fun. I think the melee weapons and stuff were really fun. The guns were not that fun, and it was one of those. The recoil doesn't feel right. The guns just feel like far overpowered from anything else, because you can kill zombies in 1 or 2 headshots, whereas hitting them with stuff takes a few hits, unless you're way over leveled like Mike was, and like I was once he gave me one of his weapons. But yeah, the guns did not feel good. You'll probably be seeing it now, but the guns they didn't feel good. They weren't fun to use. If it was one of those, like, we don't have actual guns, but you can make, like, pipe pistols and stuff, then I think it'd be more fun. And it'd be more interesting with what you could make. But, yeah, just using, like, military rifles, police rifles, pistols. It's just, it didn't feel great, honestly. And then we come to the very, very end of the game where they add in a random fucking mechanic. Going through the whole game, there are like small QTE events, like opening a door is you have to tap F a lot to go and get it open. If a zombie jumps on you and grabs you, you have to hit F to go and break their neck. Like, there's stuff like that. But then in the final cutscene, why is there a random QTE in the middle of a cutscene when you've never had a QTE in a cutscene before? It feels out of place, honestly. I get you don't want to do a boss fight because that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of the zombie thing, where you're just running away from, you can just run through all the zombies at the end mission. But it's like, then you come face to face with Rios and stuff, and it goes into a cutscene and a QTE, which you've never had in any of the other cutscenes. There's been no QTE, there's been no fighting in cutscenes. It's just weird to have it there, especially when there's like no dialogue choices or anything, and like there's no gameplay in cutscenes. It's weird, and it's very out of place in my opinion. Overall, with the game as a whole, I would give the game probably a 9, because it was fun. Don't get me wrong, there are negatives about it. The gunplay is bad. Some of the stuff that happened to us was bad. So there's an event going on right now that basically everything is a fucking runner. I turned the event on last night when I was playing because I didn't know what the event did. So I'm like, yeah, screw it, I'll turn on the event. I turn on the event, everything's a fucking runner. I checked this morning with the event off, none of them were runners. There were very few runner zombies. So yeah, that kind of, if I go through and show like every death that I have last night because of runners, it's a lot. Actually, over the past 2 days, because I had the event on, it really fucked me over. Just the fact that they were runners, it fucked me over. But yeah, otherwise the game was fun. I give it a 9 out of 10. The combat was the melee combat's really good. The parkour is really fun. Grappling hook's fun. The characters are decently likable, I think. There's some that are kind of annoying, but there's none that are like the super over-the-top caricature type characters, which I'm glad for because those characters are not... Sometimes they're done well, sometimes they're done really bad, but every character is down to earth, and there is a reason for them being there and for what they do. So I like all that. But then there's the bad stuff of the gunplay is fucking horrible. Random QTE as the final boss fight, it's stupid. And having some events, being able to turn on an event that's just runners was not great. And I look forward to seeing what comes out tonight. I've seen some of Dying Light 2, and I'm very excited for it, and I'm hoping it's going to be good, but we'll see. And like I said, once it does come out tonight, probably by the time this comes out, I'm going to say like 2 to 3 hours, I will be on stream over on twitch.tv/thesandmanking playing it. I'll have Mike in there, I'll have Chase in there, and we'll be playing through it, just having fun and hanging out, running through the city, killing zombies and trying not to die. And yes, this time, because I know with those two will consistently play it, unlike, Chris, where I never know if he's gonna fucking play because he doesn't say, hey, I'm busy on these days when you keep asking. We'll actually be able to do death counters this time, because it'll be a consistent group. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. Peace. I'm out. I'll talk to you later. Have a nice day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all that shit that people tell you to do. And yeah, go over to twitch.tv/SandmanKing. Follow over there and come hang out tonight when we're just kind of fucking around in it. Peace.